Dude, that guy rocks on guitar.
Mm-hmm. Is that you? Really? I didn't know that.
Welcome to the Grappling With podcast. Dr. Chris Hardy and William Walker will take a deep dive into topics covering wellness and prevention, performance, recovery, and injury management. Our mission is to provide the latest science-based information to help you get the most out of your grappling journey, both on and off the mats, and help you overcome any challenges you may be grappling with.
Seizure.
Dr. Hardy is a licensed physician and BJJ practitioner, but the contents of the podcast are meant for educational purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice. Please seek out personalized care from your own medical provider prior to implementing any medical treatment or intervention.
Welcome, everyone.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello, Bill.
Hi.
Jared.
Doc, good to see you.
We have Jared Pimentel.
Correct.
Pimentel.
We were trying to do the Spanish pronunciation.
A little bit.
It was very bad on my part.
On your part, yeah.
Even on my part.
What do you got? What are you drinking there?
I got my Rain. The Rain Inferno.
Okay.
Yeah, I go between Bang and Rain. I think the flavor is a little better on Rain.
I'm doing Bang, whole lot of pina colada.
Oh, I haven't tried that one.
Sounds like you guys are on a trip to Thailand or something.
We are. It's going to be fantastic.
We're going to go visit your cousins.
It's very aggressive drinks, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
They are.
I have a little element.
I had one this morning while I was mowing, so I figured I could go with the Rain for my afternoon snack.
We're trying to ease these things into these little references so Rob Wolf maybe hear it and like, oh, we'll sponsor you guys.
Wow. These guys talk well about us.
I love it.
Right.
So anyway, we have Jared here because, a couple weeks ago we did an interview with a white belt, Jonathan Kang. Jared is our representative token blue belt.
For the blue belt community.
Yes.
Didn't quit.
Nope. Ain't gonna quit.
Don't quit.
Nope.
How many stripes you got on that bad boy?
3 stripes.
Oh, he's a senior blue belt.
Yeah. Kind of a big deal.
It is
a little bit.
It's a very big deal.
Yeah. Have you started getting like other lower belts? Anybody asking like questions on how to do stuff?
Yeah. Sometimes it depends on who I'm rolling with. I really try not to instruct. I don't think I have the knowledge yet, personally. But there are some guys
but people pull you aside and be like, "Dude, I'm struggling with this."
Yeah, and then we'll work. If I actually know what I'm doing and I have the technique down, then I'll go over it with them and we'll work it. Me and Jonathan always work stuff together. So
it's always an odd feeling. It still can be for me, but it's always an odd feeling when, especially when it starts happening.
Yeah, for sure.
Start asking questions. I know that was something with Olivia why she was so nervous.
Yeah, on
getting that purple belt. Now there's like people really expect you to know something.
And
for sure.
Nobody's asked me anything.
That's just, what's that acronym? You're the resting RBF?
Resting bitch face?
RBF.
Yeah.
That's your best friend.
Yeah, she's strong. So
we're going to start funneling white belts over to her. I'm like, hey, you should go ask Olivia about that.
And I will funnel them right back to Bill.
I don't speak English.
Oh.
No habla.
Yeah. I'll mix up my Russian and Spanish all in one.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Whole new language.
Yeah. So that's interesting that it's, did that kind of give you some nerves when it first happened? Was it kind of excitement?
Nerves for sure. But I enjoy teaching. Like it's when I know, like through my career, right, I like to bring up young guys. I think it's really important to pass on the knowledge that you gain, right? Because that's how it keeps going. So I enjoy it, but definitely nervous because I don't want to teach them in a wrong way, right? Because you can get real bad habits real easy. So I'm pretty particular about like what I got to be knowing what I'm doing.
You don't want to be that meme where it's like 2 white belts teaching each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's just wild stuff.
Oh yeah, and it's not even close. That's judo. That's not jujitsu. What are you doing?
Sometimes you're going to have to show the new guy how to matrix.
Yes, 100%.
It is what it is.
And it looks cool. It looks super cool.
Most important.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
But so why don't you give us a little history? You don't have to start as far back as Lawrence, which was where he was born.
Right.
And then elementary school. But how about your jiu-jitsu journey?
Jiu-jitsu journey started when I was 30. Had a
good number.
Had a few years prior to that where I had some addiction issues and some weight issues. And
how big do you get?
245.
It's a solid number.
Yeah, it was. I was
bigger than me.
Yeah,
when I was fatty Bill.
Yeah, definitely fatty. I had I had some gut and some. I was just lazy and drank a lot.
So you're like Jared from Subway then?
Yeah, kind of, but that's not as. Yeah, we're not gonna.
Different issue.
Yeah, totally different issue.
Different addiction.
Yeah. With the weight, yes.
Without the pedophilia?
Yes, yes.
You love that Subway though.
Yes, 100%. So good. So good.
Sorry. Please continue, sir.
Yeah.
But after having my children, I wasn't setting a good example, so I needed to make some changes, and got into just exercising. Started off real easy, running, exercising, and
was it just your kids that gave you that kind of epiphany of like,
yeah, that was the biggest. That was the
fat
biggest
slob, and I need to do something about it.
Yeah, and my alcohol intake. Right, I was following in some footsteps of, some of the people I grew up with, and it was not something I wanted to be. It was not a road that I wanted to continue on, because there was only two ways to go.
Yeah.
Right. And
what's interesting with that is I had a similar deal. It probably wasn't like a one-time epiphany that made you stop or cut down, or I don't know if you still drink at all, but I don't. But it was as I was in that hole, I knew like I didn't, like I was like, oh gosh, I'm in the pit. I know I am. But I still look for beer, or I'm still wondering where, when can I start drinking? Is noon too early?
Right.
Well, in Europe, you can drink a beer at lunch.
Mm-hmm.
That's justification for me.
Yep, 100%. Or camping, I can just wake up. I'm camping. I'm just get up and start drinking.
That's part of it.
Yeah, hold the whole thing.
Right. So I always had it, especially later on, where I knew I need to adjust.
Yeah.
I need to change. I need to do something, but I wasn't. So there wasn't like one. I had more of a like I was concealing it and stuff like that, and that was a big thing for me.
No, definitely. There was multiple times I'd wake up hungover and why the hell did I just do this again? Why do I keep going down this road? And then, I'd get through the day, and then next weekend I'd come up and, okay, let's drink again and party, because it was fun, right? And you got socially lubricated. But then as it progressed, right, it just got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And yeah, it was definitely progressive. But after my children, that was the big catalyst to change it, because I'd see the way they watch you constantly all the time, right? And if I'm sitting here slobber knocked drunk, running around, me and the wife are fighting and just causing serious chaos in their life. And I think one time we had a big blowout or whatever it was, and we were both being stupid, and my kids were crying, and like that was like,
but you had that moment of like realization, of like, dang,
super dang,
okay,
and I need to, because that's my job. That's the most important job that I have in this life, is to be a good parent, be a good husband, and set an example, right? So,
are you part of the Shitty Dad Club?
Yeah.
I mean,
no, for sure.
Do you know what we talk about with that?
Yeah. Okay. So my father.
Oh, that's a deep question.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm all for it. My father was quite the alcoholic. That's where I got it from, and I had pretty abusive childhood, right? So I think that's why I turned to addiction, right? I was trying to mask,
mimicking also. Like,
100%. It's all I grew up with, right? Yeah. And so. And I said so many years, I'll never be like that. And then part of it, right, as I'm going through, like, oh wow, I'm going down the exact same path. What the hell am I doing?
You're stronger than that. You know the identifiers. I got self-control.
Yeah, all the excuses, 100%.
That's kind of the worst thing to realize too, when you get that self-realization. I mean, Bill and I have talked about our dad kind of stuff.
That's what I mean by the club, because we're
and
not only members.
We're definitely president and co-presidents.
Right.
But alcoholism is rampant in my family too, and so I completely understand. But that realization, you're like, as much as I said, that son of a, I'm never going to be like that. Then all of a sudden you feel these characteristics. You're like.
Yeah, you catch yourself, right?
You're like, oh shit, that just sucks. So, and So exercise kind of helped that piece?
Huge. Because I used to be so, I don't know, I guess mentally weak, but once you can break that barrier and you see what exercise does for the stress and for the anxieties and for your mental state, it changes. You got to get through that first initial, I guess, tough time when you first start, but it changed everything.
How long ago was that you started, not necessarily jiu-jitsu, but the working out, like you're trying to change the culture in your life?
I want to say it was like a year and a half, 2 years before I started jiu-jitsu. Yeah, I lost all my weight before I started jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I don't remember you being real big.
I had, that was why I kind of got into jiu-jitsu. I listened to a ton of Jocko and Rogan, and it was intriguing, right? And I knew what jiu-jitsu was. I watched plenty of UFC, loved the UFC.
So much too. They talk about it.
Yeah, 100%. And listen to how Jocko pushed it so much and pushed it. And I was like, man, I got to take a look at this, and went in. And
because you were kind of on that ride of developing discipline.
Yes.
So Jocko, obviously, that's his thing. A huge thing that he talks about is having discipline.
Yes.
Jordan Peterson, all these kind of guys.
Yes, correct. And when I actually went and looked, because I was like in search of something. The exercise was good, the running was good, but it felt like I needed something more, some kind of community. I didn't really have a community. I had the guys I work with, right, and their family, but I was yearning for something. So that's where I went in and checked it out, and it was all over from there.
And was that Cascade was your first?
Yeah, I got super lucky. Like I just Googled it, and it happened to be the first one that popped up, and I'm like, well, I'll go there. It's close.
Try it out.
Yeah.
How was that experience? Coming in, nerves, anything like that?
So leading up to it, I was like, I work out, I'm strong, I got muscles, I'm cool.
Yeah,
I'll be fine.
Right.
I'm athletic. I played sports as a kid.
You sling concrete walls.
Oh yeah,
all day.
super tough, right? Yeah, these guys ain't got nothing. Then about 10 minutes in, I realized I'd got myself into something I
didn't expect.
No, not a clue.
When all those guys we mentioned before talk about that first, for some people it's a year, some people it's 2 years, some people it's a month, but it's humbling when you step in and you have any sort of confidence.
Yep.
You are now the nail.
Yep. 100%. And that was my favorite part. Like, yes, it was scary and nerve wracking and there's anxiety with it, but how it humbled me was that changed everything. That changed my life. Like, cause you're not what you think you are. You're not.
Right. That's probably one of the truest statements right there. Is you're not, I ever since the Kyle Hiller, the cop episode, Kyle sends me videos of like stuff on social media or videos of officers trying to arrest someone and it's a failure and all this kind of stuff. And we end up talking about each scenario, what they could have done better. Like, and I'm almost like guessing, like, hey, could they have done this? And then we always comes back around to talking about why aren't these guys why aren't they training?
100%.
And they think they are that guy.
Yep.
That can hold down.
Yep.
Even a small person.
Right.
Dude, guys in particular overestimate their capabilities.
So much. 100%.
I came in as a lifelong athlete and, did a lot of strength training and stuff and just got massacred.
Right.
In the best way.
Right.
Coming in. Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm a cat toy now.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, it's eye-opening. Like, big time. You don't realize how much you have to actually learn. But the cool part about it is you can also become something more. Like, going through everything that we go through on a daily basis, you can mold yourself into something that is better, right? And that's what I think is amazing about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. And also those days where, especially in the beginning, but you still have them. I was talking about today earlier when I trained with this big guy that I was literally fighting for my life.
Right.
But there's a motivational piece to that. even still, but especially obviously in the beginning when that's every day is you're just getting beat up, it feels like. But you drive home and you're like, I want to do this again.
Some of the best drives have been after a night in the gym, getting smashed on. You know, I've had anxiety attacks. I've gone into tears on the mats because I just got smashed and smothered. But that drive home, you know, the sun's setting, you're kind of coming down off of it, and you realize, like, this is something I have to have in my life. Have to.
Yeah. It's an odd dynamic. That is. I know I had that. I think Rogan talked about it too, and I had it was, I can do this. Like when I was rolling with, I think it was Dan back in the day, and I was like, wait, I can do what he's doing to me. I can do this to other people.
Yeah.
Like that was like, it was crazy. Now, obviously, I'm learning that no, I will never scramble like Dan.
I was going to say, he still does that to me.
Yeah. But, you know, you can at least have a little bit of success.
And you learn what you're capable of, right? Through the suffering, you learn where your limits are and whether or not you can push past those limits, right? I think that's big for me is like, okay, where am I weak, and can I stay in that weakness and try to push through it and grow from it, right? Incrementally.
Totally, and you can tap those weak moments easier. Right?
Oh yeah, because you got that little voice in your head that just quit. You're fine. Just tap out.
I was like, just let him pass.
Yeah,
let him pass.
Yep.
Because this guy was smushing me, and I let him get past. He was basically already passed. I just let him go instead of fighting for it, and I just turtled. And I'm like, okay, this is better. Then he starts digging for a clock choke. Oh. And I was just like, don't do it, but maybe just let him do it.
Yeah, right. So it'll be over. It'll all be over.
Fight like I'm in the fetal position like a child.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. That's typically when I go to turtle is when I'm like, oh God, that's it.
And then
it's my safe zone.
But in that moment, I was able to overcome that bitch assness, and I dug an underhook, sat back to guard, and I was back in the fight.
Yeah, and that's where the growth is, right? And that's what's super cool is when you see you have that inner dialogue for that split second, right? And then you don't give into it, right? And then you push through. Like it's.
Have you ever given into it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. A lot.
Same.
Yeah, for sure. But I keep trying to get back to it, right? Because you're not always going to win. You're going to fail. And I'm not talking like winning the match. I'm talking like winning over yourself, right?
Yeah.
The battle within is, for me, the biggest battle that I have, right? So I'm constantly fighting that battle. So you can't give up on it. You have to. It's going to be continual. I will probably battle it for the rest of my life, right? I don't think anybody ever wins it.
Right.
So not quitting for me is, and I'm not talking tapping. I'm talking just going back to the same old crap, and you just keep fighting it. Don't quit.
Yeah, and that's where it's like the whole jiu-jitsu thing kind of really translates.
Yes.
Into life.
Yes.
There's still those moments just in life when it's calling you to go back to whatever BS that you were doing, and you can fight that.
That's interesting. Those situations, I always, watching that last Tuesday #1, Gordon Ryan's match, it actually gave me a little PTSD. I could actually feel what that guy was when he was getting just smothered, and I was just like so impressed that guy didn't.
Yeah. I got legit anxiety watching it.
Because I did.
Yeah.
And just because I've been in that smothering situation, right? And it's just horrific when you're overheated, you're exhausted, and they're pushing on your diaphragm, and they're just freaking smothering you. And you're just trying to get a little bit of
air. Right? Yeah, most uncomfortable position I've ever been in my entire life.
Yep.
It's hard to explain to people what it's like getting smashed like that. Guys at work, they we talk about it and they ask questions, and it's
you don't understand.
You can't explain it in words. You have to be in that position.
Yeah, because it's not just like you could like put them on their back and like smush them, but it's like, now imagine you've had this for 15 minutes, you've been waterboarded, you're exhausted, you can barely catch your breath.
Yep.
Now I'm going to do it to you.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, oh my gosh, there's like layers of the dungeon.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. So, okay, you started, how long you been training now?
I want to say 5 years. I think I started when I was 30. I'll be 35 this year. So I'm going on 5 years, 4.5, 5 years. I kind of lost track. I don't.
You've had, though, a couple injuries
that
set you on the sideline a little bit.
Yeah, I got some lower back injuries that have plagued me, and at some point it'll have to be dealt with. But for now, if I keep a good exercise routine, and
part of it is just your job.
Yeah, that's where I got it from, for sure. Being young and stupid and packing stuff like an idiot, not getting help or a forklift. And
I mean, I see you're on social media, like you're building. What are you building a light rail?
Yep.
Is that what you're doing?
Yep. Working the Sound Transit light rail from Northgate to Linwood.
So the whole, like all the cement walls and.
Yeah, I'm specifically on the wall crew, so all the big concrete walls are done by me or cut. There's a couple other crews that work on the job, but
right. Yeah, I could see that being. I mean, that as Lawrence said, that's one of his toughest things about training is like he's gonna go do that because he's a concrete guy. Obviously, a different situation, but still laborious.
Yeah. Oh, very much so.
And then go to jiu-jitsu after.
It's tough.
Yeah.
No, it definitely is. And like with what I do, we wear bags. So you have a full harness, you have bags. When your bags are fully loaded, you're looking at 45, 50, almost 60 pounds.
Because all your tools on there.
Yep. And you're wearing that all other than your first break and your lunch. You're wearing it all day. You're climbing, right? We'll climb walls. You're packing material, right? So it's a constant strain on the body. It's like wearing a weighted pack, for 8 to 12 hours a day.
Just hanging on you. That would be tough.
Well, I've noticed a parallel between Lawrence and Jared in their grips when they get a hold of you too, though.
Yeah.
Strong hands, man.
Different style, which is funny because Lawrence, he's going for this cross collar thing and he's always like trying to mess with your neck. But Jared, when he gets that spider grip.
I love the spider. Love it.
I'm not breaking that grip.
I love this.
I just concede it. I'm just like, okay. That's it.
And Dan here just gave me a nice little trick where he just turned the hand.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
That
That's
changed.
a key.
Oh, it changed everything.
Aurelia showed me that. I forgot when, but it was because he could break my grip like I'm literally not even holding it.
Right.
And I remember he was like, why don't you turn that thing a little bit, huh? And I don't understand what you're saying. Of course, I turned it the wrong way. Wrist locking myself.
Yes.
And he's like, no. And did the whole thing. And like you kind of like ramp it in there. And
it changes everything.
Amazing.
Yeah. And it kind of like bites in, so you don't even like, because I used to get super fatigued. I mean, I've been working the spiders, so my grip strength has gotten stronger in it. But after turning that, it's like you don't even have to think about conserving the energy on the grip. You can start working to whatever sweep or whatever it is you're trying to work from there.
Yeah. And in the beginning, you're gripping everything as hard as possible. That's another thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then you start to learn like, oh, I can just have that part gripping. And that's like, this whole thing isn't activated.
Yeah.
Or
that's huge.
Even your forearm isn't like completely activated. It's almost extensors or.
The extensors here, yeah.
So like what is that when you're gripping and you've now, you still can maintain a good grip.
Right.
But you're not completely like.
It's less motor units involved. So the hand, if I'm trying to do like squeezing this cup, that's a lot harder than if I'm just doing this and like cat's pawing it, right? Because I'm not. First of all, there's a leverage component to it. So I have small hands, and the wider I have to open my hands to grip, the more fatiguing and difficult it is. The closer I can bring it in, especially if I can curl these in and kind of lock them in place. There's a lot of mechanical advantage in that.
Yeah, and you're not even necessarily activating your forearm. It feels
near
like
as much, exactly.
But in the beginning, it feels like that's the only way to grip.
My first white belt competition, I came out, I'm like, I can't move. After the first round, I was full of blood in my forearms. They're like, dude, chill, man.
That's the most brutal part of competing is like when your forearms and arms just are gone.
Yeah,
first minute.
Yeah, that for sure. But I mean, those are these cool things you learn over time. Jared, I wanted to talk to you about something. I was there for your blue belt promotion. Okay, and I remember it very, very clearly. What was that like for you going from white belt to blue belt?
It was a happy moment. It was, I can do this. I made it because I watched a ton of guys that started with me that kind of started trickling out, and like they'd
Call
start
them out.
showing up less and less. I don't even remember their names, so I couldn't tell you if I knew.
If I remember.
I know you.
Andre.
Yep, Andre for sure.
But he's a blue belt.
Yeah, but he has.
But he pieced out.
Yeah,
We'll
I haven't
give him-
seen him
I know
since
he's
he
got
got
a
blue
kid
belt.
and
He has several kids.
Business.
Yeah.
He's got his own business. Super busy.
But I'm still shaming him.
Oh my god, it's like one of the nicest guys in the world.
He is.
Yeah.
He's a sweetheart.
Yes, and wonderful to train with.
Yeah.
Yes.
But okay, since you're calling people out, like,
Yeah. If I remember another one, I will.
So yeah, it was because I wasn't sure going through my first, second stripe. I had days where
At white belt.
or do I really want? Can I actually do this? Because you get that voice in your head, right? You know,
Sure.
why are you doing these guys? I'd come in and watch you or Doc or some of the higher ups, right? And these guys were good, and I was like, I don't know if I can ever get to that level. And then the blue belt came, and like, yeah, I can do this.
Yeah.
You just keep going. You know, don't worry about how long it takes. Don't worry, and I really don't even think about the belts. That's kind of for me. It's watching, learning, and growing.
If
right?
you're in for the long term,
Yeah.
the belt thing just,
It doesn't matter.
we're all going to be black belts at some point.
Yeah.
It's,
And what's the saying? A black belt's just a
Yeah.
white belt who never quit, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I was super stoked for that.
that's very cool. Now that you're like 3 stripes in and pretty senior and been a blue belt for a while, we always hear about people quitting at blue belt. Did you have any of those kind of struggles, or like you said, you're just like day by day, just doing it because you love it? Or is there any challenges into continuing at blue belt specifically?
Definitely had those days. Definitely had days where it's like, I can't do it. Life got busy, you know, with 4 kids and full-time job and other projects, and trying to balance between, you know, training enough and then home life and all that. Like there was times like, I don't think I can do this. The stress cup was through the roof, right?
Thanks for the reference.
Yeah, of course. But then I'd go to class, right? The days where I had to drag my ass in there and do it. And after that class, those have been the days where it's like, no, I'm not quitting. This is, I need this.
On the horse.
I need it just for mental sake. Like I have demons, right? From past, and it's a constant battle. So going in and getting rid of that and growing is amazing.
Yeah. Did you ever have especially since becoming blue belt, like did you have that thought of, you know, I'm gonna just take a break, just not necessarily I'm quitting or anything but just I'm gonna just take a break?
No breaks, unless I absolutely had to, like vacation or injury. I definitely I don't want breaks. I need to. I'm already training as little as it is. You know, 2 days a week isn't much. So I try to maximize. Like if I miss a day, I get irritated. I need to train. If I can add, great. But I try to never take away if I don't have to, because it's the reps. You know, I don't retain well with watching instruction. I have to do, and when I don't do, you lose it. Even a week, it's you come in and it's different. Well, it's weird. Sometimes you're kind of your cardio's out of it, but sometimes you can kind of see things and you're hitting things you usually didn't hit, right? It's kind of a weird.
It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes you're easily way worse, and sometimes you're like, I'm kind of doing good.
Yeah, you're like, wow, I took us back. Holy cow.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I just needed a little week off.
Yeah, that was it.
But to that point, though, it's important to do that as a training load accumulates, depending on your, like you said, the stress cup, whether age, your kids, your job, that whole 9 yards. It's nice to, when you're starting to feel like, oh man, like I'm really not wanting to train. Giving that nervous system a week's break, you come back strong and recovered. I think it helps, but it's hard to do because it's addictive.
Very much so.
Right?
Yes.
Really hard to do.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, there's no hope for you, my friend. I train 3 days a week, man. I can't imagine. You'd be like, I think you'd be going through withdrawals on the street. You're like trying to sell yourself for a class or something.
For a roll.
You're like, hey, man, you got to roll.
Like that video during the pandemic.
Oh, the trap house.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was willing to eat someone's face for sure, just to start a fight.
Yes.
I had a, gosh, there was a day where we pretty much never miss Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Yeah. Those are pretty consistent.
That's because those are the days I train. So I understand you want to be near me.
I need to whoop that ass. Yes. Confidence builder.
Yes, very much so. Right? You got to keep it up there.
Yeah. Beating up old people. Right?
I feel like Ben Stiller, like with the mustache.
Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
You're in my house now, Granny.
Yeah, that's how I think of you. So, but there was, I think I was going to miss, it was recently a Thursday we ended up not going.
Oh, it was for Who's Number One, right? Or Fight. Yeah, Who's Number One.
Oh, yeah. But
that's right. When we had ice cream.
Yeah, everyone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we were talking crap about
yes, we
you
were.
too.
And Elias had my back. He was the only one out of all you animals. Yeah. I let him down. He what? Elias. He says either or. Mr. Diaz is what I meant. The what was it, Flying Princess or whatever he's called. But he had my back. But that day was brutal because I wanted to go.
Yeah.
But I knew like my body and my mind, I think it wasn't that why I was like, I could just tell oh, that's what it was. The cut too.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only reason.
Right.
Olivia made me. But it was so tough. Like my body was like going through withdrawals.
I have no doubt.
It was so bad. It was difficult. So
that's why you got a big ice cream fix then too, didn't you?
No, I ate 5 donuts. Oh. Full size.
Whoa.
2 maple bars, jelly filled.
He's not kidding.
You don't have to sell it to me. I've seen the man's work.
He did multiple visits. And do you know that like regularly we go to Albertsons and he just buys a piece of like cake?
Yes.
At Albertsons?
Yes.
Life goals.
Literally just a piece of cake.
Oh, you gotta call me out like that.
Tell me more
about.
Tell me more about. Do you go back to the bakery? Did they make it there?
Yes, he goes back to the bakery.
Do they know you by name?
Oh yeah.
I go after hours, so I don't have to look at the baker in the face.
I feel so ashamed. Yeah. Not again.
But I start perusing a little bit, and then it's kind of like I'm shoe shopping almost.
You do the quick grab
the other day.
I said what?
You bought like a bundt cake the other day.
I did a strawberry bundt cake.
Sounds delicious.
Just polished it off today.
Last night.
You were a monster.
I love it.
It was so good. But so yeah, I didn't have ice cream. I had donuts instead. But yeah, it was difficult on the old psyche.
So I got a question for you. When you miss those days, do you like get down on yourself? Like feel like you're, you know what I mean? Like you're worthless, or you're, you know what I mean? Like you get after yourself because you think for sure you might need rest, and you know, definitely need to take the time.
Once I've missed it.
Yeah.
So I do. I have, and Chris is similar to me on this. Is we harshly talk to ourselves. Our internal dialogue is
brutal.
Yes. And Olivia hates it because she'll hear me mumble sometimes. "Ah, you fucking idiot," you know, stuff like that. And she's like, "What are you doing?"
That's true.
She'll be like, "Don't talk to yourself like that."
Well, no, 100%. Yeah. It's so hard not to.
Definitely, probably don't need to be so aggressive.
No,
but you know,
like for instance, I train Monday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Sometimes I'm really jacked up on Sunday, and I tell Carrie, "Oh man, I think I probably should take a break." And I tell her, so she's like, "Okay, I'm not going to pack my bag, whatever." Then I'm like, "Hey man, I really want to." And Monday comes around, like I had a night's sleep. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I think I want to go."
Yeah.
Oh,
you know
for sure.
I mean? I do this all the time. And she's like, "Dummy."
Well, especially on Mondays because I do a 2 a day every Monday, so I train in the midday, and then I train at night.
Yeah,
and in the midday, because there's a couple purple belts that want my scalp, as you can see, and actually they all do. White belt. That was Aaron, white belt, but it's gonna be like I'm gonna get hard rolls in for sure.
Right.
Maybe Luis stops in, the Brazilian freight train. I'm gonna get hard rolls in. So then the night class comes. I know I'm gonna get hard rolls
for
in
sure
because all the regulars are coming in on Mondays, right?
Yep.
So those are that day, and when I was doing 2 a days on Wednesdays, also because I knew Wednesday classes are a little bit smaller, so I'm gonna get a hard roll with Andrew, and those are the days that I would be like, man, I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah.
And the rare occasion, which I don't know, I can't really say when. I don't remember missing one in a long time. Actually, recently I stopped training Wednesday night for the last probably month.
That was by imperial decree.
What did you just say?
That was by imperial decree.
What the hell does that mean?
It means you were ordered to by the one in charge, the emperor.
Yes, empress.
Oh, we're non-binary.
Okay.
I thought we've established that here.
I forgot.
We're inclusive here at this podcast.
All inclusive.
Yeah, so yes, there was an order put down by the government that said Wednesday nights you're chilling out. Because I train in Wednesday daytime, and
that's not why.
That's not why, but anyways. So since then, yes, every Wednesday I still question if I think about what other people are doing. Like there's other people training.
Yep. Right.
So they're getting better than me, and I am not progressing today. So, yeah, I end up tough talking myself and kind of getting down on myself. But then I try to remember that it doesn't, I'm not some world champion guy that's
Yeah, you got to find the balance. You have to balance it out.
Yeah, and then the body does benefit from.
Yeah.
That was my point.
The body does, the body, not doing, because I had probably a 2-year stretch. Probably more than that. That unfortunately I didn't have any bad injuries.
Yeah.
But where I was doing a 2 a day on Monday, Tuesday night class, Wednesday I would train twice, and then Thursday I would train, and then Friday I would train, and then Saturday morning I would train, and then sometimes I'd drop it on Sunday. Multiple years doing that.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, sometimes I wouldn't train on Friday, and then sometimes I wouldn't train on Sunday. But then sometimes I would do a 2 a day on Thursday.
Yes, your body's not getting any.
Yeah, there was I got to the point where I was maintaining. I was fortunate, I think maybe just because of my style, I wasn't really getting hurt, but I was able to maintain. But there was always just something on the verge of probably a bad injury.
Right.
So.
Well, I mean, your shoulder's been.
Yeah, I've always had, not always, but there was something going on with the left shoulder. I forgot what we've kind of diagnosed as, but it needs some rest.
Right.
It needs some active cars training and hanging consistently and all this kind of stuff.
Not jiu-jitsu.
Right. Not sparring.
Right.
And that's been difficult.
Yeah, I find it difficult as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been easier as you go through, and you kind of when you see the benefits to the rest, right? And you're not. It just seems like it creeps in every once in a while, and it's hard to get rid of it.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't become the snowball the other way, where you're like, and you start talking yourself into saying, "Oh, I need some rest," and maybe you don't.
Yeah, my whole thing.
That's where it becomes right?
The Rogan thing. I really latched onto that, or maybe it was Jocko, where I think maybe it was Jocko. You feel like you need that rest day. Like you're like, I could use it. And then I just to maintain positive momentum, I would not take that rest day intentionally. And but I would say tomorrow I'm gonna.
Right.
And then I'll see how I feel the next day. And usually I'm fine.
Yep.
I just didn't train quite as hard.
No, I think that's I do something really similar. I'm doing something every single day, but it varies on how, like a day after rolling, I'm going to probably go a little easier and just move, right? Just get some kind of movement, something to keep progressing, but something that's not so hard.
Yeah, even if you don't do jiu-jitsu and you're just starting your workout journey, your healthy lifestyle journey, maybe you barely even work out and you're just eating better. You know, you're changing your lifestyle in a positive way. You can take that mentality into that to keep that momentum, right?
100%.
With drinking.
Yep.
It was taking it. I didn't do any 12-step stuff, but like you glean some stuff from that, but take it day by day.
Yep. It has to be day by day.
Yeah, you have an urge to drink, or because it's habit to, like, I was a piece of shit and I would drive home and drink.
Yep.
So
put
myself on blast there. But so it's one of those things where that becomes a habit, right? That time of day, boredom, because I'm a boredom drinker.
Yeah, right, for sure, right.
I got downtime.
What else are we doing? It's going to be funner if we add some alcohol. Yeah, let's do it.
Barbecuing. And then it turned into, well, it's raining today. Maybe I should have a beer then.
Yeah, right.
It's Seattle. It's raining every day.
Yeah, perfect. See, exactly.
National Ice Cream Day.
Yeah, National Ice Cream Day. Well, I got to have a beer and then ice cream.
Yes.
I would never do that. I would never disrespect ice cream.
I would hope not.
Let me put that on
Disgusting.
record. Yeah.
We would have to part ways.
Yeah.
I would not respect you anymore.
Yeah. Out of nowhere, it's just Jared in that seat and you over here.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
Where's Bill? Yeah, I can't do it, man.
Nope.
He mixed beer and ice cream.
Terrible.
He talked about drinking and driving. Yeah, we don't care, but it was ice cream and beer.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, taking that kind of mentality of like, man, I really want that burger.
Yeah.
That fries. Ooh,
salt,
dog.
pepper.
Give me a little something. Just not today. I'm going to get that tomorrow, though. I'm going to earn it today. I'm going to get it tomorrow. Then the craving's gone.
Yeah.
Typically.
And you know what's helped me with that too is like Saturdays after just getting destroyed for 2 hours. And then I don't feel so bad about having something that's not.
For sure.
You know.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Rogan said, like an 80-20. Like I follow kind of the 80-20 rule. Like 80% of the time I'm going to eat good. I'm not going to have a bunch of crap. And then 20% of the time, you know, and time it properly. Like you said, like after a good hard workout or after a good roll, then I'll just eat whatever. Because you got to live too. Like,
dude, totally.
I tried the whole super strict diet at first. And I was miserable. It was just terrible.
Well, we were talking about Mikey Musumici's last podcast, and to that point, right? Sustainability, something you enjoy, and you know, at that point, it's working for him. When it stops working for him, I'm sure he'll change it up.
Right.
Yeah, and that's GSP said the same thing a long time ago. God, I don't even remember. Maybe it was like one of the all access kind of things, but he was. People were shocked that he like drinks wine and will have a beer here and there, and he's like, I'm not gonna diet all the time, weight cut and all that, and be like miserable.
Did he say it like that? That's not how he said it. Come on, let me hear it.
Gosh, it's been a long.
You can do that accent.
Huh?
Can you do that accent?
I am not impressed with your performance. I gotta channel him a little bit.
I'm sorry, Bill.
I do not. I drink the wine. That's a little Zohan, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
very much so.
I'll work on it.
Okay.
How about yours?
No, mine sucks.
Yeah.
I can't do a GSP.
Hard pass for me.
Yeah, okay. We'll get Carrie on the mic. She'll
Yeah.
throw it out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was talking about how he wants to live. Like it's about like, you know, that's how you can maintain these things.
Yep.
And that's like what I think we've said before is any diet, like whatever name you put behind it, right?
The maintenance, right? That continuous, because you can do good for a month, and then if you fall off the wagon and then you never get back on, what's the point? I like the small progression every single day, because that grows and grows and grows and grows. So sticking with that and going incremental, way better.
And I found when I lost my weight, my workout was jiu-jitsu, but I wasn't doing the training like I was. That was towards once I got to like under 200 pounds. That was when I was starting to train that much. But in that time period, I was still drinking like a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Not eating great. Didn't really, but I intentionally, and I didn't even know it was really a thing, was nutrient timing. So if I trained in the midday, which is, I've always done midday classes, I would get McDonald's after that. I just would make sure if I didn't train in the midday, I wasn't going to eat some bullshit during the day. But if I did, I'm going to get at McDonald's or whatever it is. Right. And I think the bigger piece to all of that though was I had consistency 100%. Over, let's say, a 2-year period from when I first started my jiu-jitsu workout journey to 2 years in, was I didn't stop.
Yep.
That was probably the more important detail to the weight loss journey.
As opposed to stopping jiu-jitsu and still doing that eating type.
Right. You take a break from the working out, you still do you're still eating the same. Now, I could have had faster results, this, that, and the other. But once again, most people, when they fizzle off on their healthy lifestyle journey,
dude,
they just couldn't maintain it.
Yeah, and then hard to get back on.
Yeah,
well, right.
And that's the biggest thing I've always talked about is that sustainability. I don't care what you do. You know, people are like, well, what exercise should I do? I'm like, what's fun for you?
Mm-hmm.
That's where you start with.
Yeah.
Right. And then they're like, well, I like Zumba. I'm like, then do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because otherwise, if you're like, no, you need to do this. You need to count your calories. It becomes super neurotic, man.
Oh, yeah. I've heard, like, when I first got into exercising and the whole workouts, and I'd listen to these guys talk about the macronutrients and prepping the week for the meal. I'm not doing anything. No.
Checking keto strips in the morning.
Yeah.
And stuff, man.
Like, and I started with the keto thing at first when I first started doing it. And then it just got way off into the weeds. I'm like, I'm just going to eat good food and just exercise.
For someone that's a diabetic, if we're trying to reverse their metabolic syndrome, absolutely, we'll put them on like a keto thing for 3 months or so. But man, it's not a sustainable thing for most people. Right. It just isn't.
And it's tough. And I think just on the mental side, like when you have that little bit of failure, like because everyone's going to have those moments of failure in their journey, is you failed, you either didn't work out or for a week or you ate poorly and you fell off the wagon from eating correctly. Getting back on, which is what you were saying, because you're beating yourself up, becomes so difficult to get that momentum back on. Now you got negative momentum. Now you're digging the hole again.
Yeah, I like what you're saying. There's that little incremental stuff. It applies to so many things. That, you know.
No, for sure. And with the failures too, like failures can also be, for me, like failures are an opportunity to get better. Instead of, I used to really harp on myself, but when you fail, you learn what you did wrong and you know what mistakes to not make the next time you go through it, right? So yes, the failures can make it hard to get back on, but the failures can also be huge in your growth later on down the road.
Yeah. I mean, it's so stereotypical. I learn. Yeah. I don't lose. I learn.
Right.
There's something to it for sure. Sometimes you just get your ass kicked, but for like in losses or failures or those kind of situations, totally. If you can step back,
yes,
be like, why? And that's what's, in my opinion, helps development in. Like one of the reasons, besides all the mat time, I think I progressed quickly was because I analyze all my rolls that night. I'll do it, and I'll think. Sometimes it can be hard to remember, and that's fine. Or even right after the roll, why did Jared sweep me? Why?
Never happened, by the way, not once.
Why didn't that work? How did he get out of that? Like, Chris has his little reverse shrimp Turkish get up. When you get in, you pass his guard like it was nothing. And then he gets you with this freaking thing. Why does that keep happening?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like really analyzing those failures. You can turn it into positive, or you can just ignore it.
But you have to make the effort. Like you said, you really got to take the effort to break it down, look at it, and truly learn from it.
Yeah.
And also I'd say our community, each other, because I'm a horrible self-critic, and I know you are, and it sounds like
I'm very much
too.
so.
And it's nice to have some peers there like, hey man, no, you're doing well. Here's some things that maybe I'm seeing. You know, it gives you someone else's view.
Yeah, no, it's huge. You and Bill have been absolutely fantastic with that when it comes to helping, right? Because we're all on different paths, but they intersect at points, right? And so when I might be getting down on myself, and then Bill breaks something down for me and kind of shows me where I went wrong, and really takes the time, right, to explain it to me, then you realize, okay, cool, like it's not as bad as I thought. It needs to get better, but he showed me, and he showed me the things I can work on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't stop either. Yesterday, our black belt was helping me. Andrew John was working with me on some details on some, toe holds and entry. It just doesn't stop. That kind of giving and back and forth. That's why I love it. It's such a great support.
Well, especially with our gym, right?
Yeah.
I think I've really fell in love with that when I started. Andrew's big smile and just welcoming, and and then you guys, especially you two, right? Because you two were there. You guys have been there since I started, and like
since you were a hatchling.
You two especially were really good at like really trying to say, hey, this is what's up. This is where you're going wrong. And he broke it down. You were specific about it. Like you guys really made it a point, right, to show and teach and pass the knowledge on. And that was something I really appreciated because I like to gain knowledge, but sometimes, you can go to things where people aren't as receptive and they're kind of jerky and they don't really, hey, you got to earn your spot, which I'm all for earning respect, but there's got to be, hey, let's help this guy out, you know?
Yeah, I think there's a black belt we have at our gym that they had, I remember they had said, like they won't even try to remember someone's name until they've been there for like 6 months, which
I get that.
I agree. But they still will help. Like when someone asks a question. But it was kind of a funny thing. I was like, I don't know their freaking name. I'm not even going to try.
Yeah. It's hard. There's so many people.
You don't want to invest in someone personally unless that was the point, unless they're going to be sticking around.
Well, yeah, you see so many people come and go.
Yeah, 100%. That's one thing I've noticed.
Conversely, though, there may be a guy that's been in or a girl has been in for a couple weeks, and you can tell they're getting discouraged. And sometimes taking that little interest and giving them a little pep talk will keep them there too. So there's that.
That's where that good community thing comes in. And really the difference from what I noticed the most between kind of your typical MMA gym that has grappling and your typical jiu-jitsu gym is like when I've gone to MMA gyms in a previous life, or even now when I drop in, it's like your meat.
Right.
They just want to chew you up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's, got a new dummy I can beat up on.
Yep.
Maybe he'll stick around and maybe he won't, but he's mine today.
Let's put him to the test.
Yeah. And then, jiu-jitsu gym, it's almost like they just want you in the cult.
Yeah.
They want another body to be able to impregnate.
Right. As opposed to ours, like it's I noticed right off the bat, my first 2 weeks there, I noticed the core group and how they interacted. I'm a people watcher. I like to watch people and kind of, pay attention and kind of see what's going on. And it impressed me how close and tight knit everything was, and how it wasn't like we train hard, but it's laid back and it's fun and it's, you know what I mean? Like it's special. It was something special.
It was you probably had a similar reaction that I did when I was like, how do they let this old guy this close to an elementary school? It's astonishing. I thought we had laws built in for those kind of people. I'm not trying to I don't want to say the word.
Yes.
It starts with a P. But it's like, I thought we had some stuff built in. But you're probably shocked. Shocked.
Yeah, super shocked.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
Dude, I don't do
What?
nothing.
Okay.
Somehow it's coming back to me somehow.
Yep.
You said old guy, I'm assuming
Oh,
you were talking about
no.
me.
I wasn't saying anybody by name or, it was just sometimes people walk into the gym and you're like, bro, there's a parole office right there, an elementary school, and I know you belong around one and you shouldn't be around the other.
I'm filing a restraining order.
Jeez. I mean, hey, if the shoe fits, I guess. I didn't say any names.
Well, they say thou protestest too much.
Yeah. You got a little conviction? That's not my problem. Not bad.
Are we going to go back into criminal records?
Yeah. Well, we probably shouldn't do that.
No.
Let's see. Well, I'm a new man.
Yes.
I'm with Bill on that. We'll just
Well,
leave that over there.
I'm going to rapidly change the subject.
Oh, good.
So
It's because you forgot where we're at.
that too. Okay. I know.
We went off on some tangents.
Well, my teleprompter is not there anymore. And I can't read
That's
it.
true.
So when you got promoted to blue belt, what changed your mentality about the learning process? Is like developing your own game or things you were starting to look into as far as something that you were drawn to as far as guards or techniques?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I equate it to being like, when you walk into a dark room and you can't see anything, and then your eyes start to slowly adjust. When I got that blue belt, it's kind of how I felt. I could actually start seeing things and realizing, like, a big issue I had was I tried doing too much. So, and Bill told me one time, just back it off, start on one thing. So I made a conscious effort to work my spider guard, just work on that. And, I might do some other things from it, but the majority of my focus would be on, only a couple things, and not try to, because I overwhelm myself, trying to do every single freaking move there is in jiu-jitsu, and it's not happening. So that was a big moment for me on my progression, was just being able to.
Are you a studier? Like, you watch a lot of YouTube and?
Yes, when I can, for sure. You got me on. I can't remember his name now. He breaks the videos down.
John Thomas
for sure.
Jordan teaches jiu-jitsu is another one.
He breaks them down. He'll stop them, pause them.
Oh, Keenan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Keenan's stuff. I really like Keenan's
This stuff that's
breakdowns.
on Flow, the Entering the Worm, I
Yep.
think was, the series.
Yep. So study, and I like to do it just to watch movements and hear explanations from different point of views. It's hard for me to retain, but you still learn some things. My biggest progression is, like I said, doing. I have to do. I'll try to remember something, and I don't know how many times I'm gonna work that, and I get in it like, no, it's not happening.
Spider guard, something that you based on your limb length or something that you really like about it that you kind of gravitated towards?
Yeah, I don't know. It was really comfortable for me. I really once I was able to learn the hip movement and gain the control, my grips didn't get burnt out. I had 4 points of contact, and I could work from there. I could
slow people down.
Yep,
Even higher level guys. It was like you could start to kind of. It felt like you were competing.
Yes, but it could also be a detriment at points because I go back to it instead of if I'm trying to work half guard, right? If I'm trying to work something from half guard, and then it gets weird, and okay, I'm just gonna go back to spider guard.
That's the battle for life.
We all go back to our
we
go back to our A game when we get in trouble.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
that's what I say whenever you see me playing lapel. I'm like, I'm probably getting my ass kicked.
Yeah, right, for sure, 100%.
It doesn't start that way, but 4 minutes in, it's like, oh, Bill's playing lapel.
Yeah, I need a break. I need some time to think.
Probably know what's happening there.
Yeah,
that's so funny. Yeah, no, it's a very true thing. Well, as you're kind of progressing through blue belt, nearing the end of your blue belt journey, what would you give advice to other kind of white belts getting ready to get promoted to blue belt? Anything you would kind of
keep showing up?
Yeah,
just keep showing up. Don't worry about find things to narrow your scope down on what you're working on and keep showing up. That's if you don't, you'll get into a hole and a rut, and you'll just end up going backwards.
Did you feel like people were coming after you more?
Oh yeah, 100%. My first roll with Bill after a blue belt, I got wrist locked like 8 times in one round, 5-minute round.
Okay,
yeah, wrist lock.
Why did you wait till blue belt to wrist lock him?
Oh, I guarantee I wrist locked him before.
That's a strong possibility.
Okay,
yeah,
but
for sure.
If there's truth to this story, which I cannot confirm or deny, I probably wanted to put a little extra sauce on it.
Oh yeah,
and just be like, welcome.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was definitely a welcome. Yeah. I was like, wow, I didn't know anything about. Because actually, to be honest with you, I don't think I was ever wrist locked at white belt. Yeah, no.
Have you rolled with Carrie?
Yes, but she got me at blue belt.
How long ago was this?
Yeah, I didn't wait.
Yeah.
So she's not a savage. She waited.
I am a horrible person. I take this and I run with it. How long ago did you get promoted to blue belt?
I don't think I could tell you that. I don't have a clue. Maybe a year and a half, 2 years.
Do you remember?
It's coming up on 2 years.
Yeah.
Was it pre-Voldemort?
No, it was after Voldemort. It was after our little group training that we had. So we'd started on the camera, and then it was like, I don't know, a few months after we had come back, and we just had our little, me and Jason, we just had our little pods, and we were split up and training that.
That's right.
I think if I remember right, December is going to be 2 for you, because I think 2020 is when you got promoted.
Okay. Yeah.
If I remember right. Yep.
You never got wrist locked before that?
Not that I remember. No.
That was off.
No. And because I vividly remember you wrist locking me after I got that. Like, that's a story I tell people too. Like, yeah, it was a good welcome to blue belt. It was fun. Well, because I think why it surprised me so much because I'd never felt, you know what I mean? I'd never
kind of quick sharpness.
Yeah, and like it was a position that I'd usually been in. Right, and my arms and limbs had been in this weird, and then I realized like, okay, I can't do that anymore. I can't. My hands can't go here because I'm gonna get wrist locked.
Right.
I have to move in a different way to try to get away from that.
Right.
And be cognizant of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of the interesting thing is, especially some of those like when you're on top, because I go for a lot of wrist locks from when I have someone in guard, so you kind of feel like you're winning position, and then out of nowhere you're getting wrist locked.
Exactly. That's a big surprise.
I've had Carrie's back and she's wrist locked me.
Well, that's her go-to. that's the go-to wrist lock from that one. Is she's doing it from like you can expect wrist locks from guard because you're locked in, but unless you're new to them, then it's like I don't know what is happening. But when you don't expect them is when, you have someone's back.
Yeah, in the weirdest position. Yeah. You're like, how is that even a thing?
Yeah, maybe you're in a triangle and you're like just worrying about you're like getting choked, and then out of nowhere you're getting wrist locked.
Right.
Something like that. That's her sneaky devil.
Yes.
We are one and the same.
You guys or something.
Cut from the same cloth.
For sure. Did you feel like the white belts were after you a little bit?
No, I think after my back episode, because I think that happened when I was kind of white belt, I got pretty particular on who I roll with. Like most of our upper belts, I'll roll with but when it comes to the white belts, I was pretty particular about who I want hard rolls, right? But I also don't want like to be in a fight for my life with a white belt and then get stacked and then I'm injured and then I'm out for who knows how long.
Yeah, at least an upper belt can kind of protect you.
The white belts I did roll with, they definitely came after me hard for sure.
Yeah, that'll happen for sure.
Oh yeah.
So did you notice that some of the white belts, that is probably your most coveted training partners that were white belts, came after you a little bit more?
Oh yeah.
And then the upper belts gave you a little bit more sauce.
Oh yes, very much so.
Wait till purple belt.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
I was going to ask that. What do you think about that? Tell me about your.
I like it because you get
purple belt.
Yeah. Oh well. I guess I'm not scared. I'm looking forward to, because that's going to be a milestone. That's going to be, I didn't quit. Like this is something I plan on doing for the rest of my life, and that will just be a stamp like that says yes, this is my life now.
They say if you go to purple belt, you'll you can get the black.
Yep. Yep. And I don't want to be that blue belt statistic of quitting. I don't.
Yeah, we're not gonna put you on a milk carton yet.
Perfect.
We're thinking about it.
Yeah, that purple belt. That was for me too. It was okay. Like this is, you're considered quote unquote advanced, or you kind of understand jiu-jitsu a little bit. Like that one meant a lot.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it for that reason, I think.
And there's a respect, like you can go to any gym and like, you know, there's almost a, like I respect any purple belt that comes
100%.
Because
holy cow, we have some savages.
Oh yeah.
Belts,
yeah. You know, you're not, that's not going to be easy. You better be on your P's and Q's and be paying attention or you're going to get subbed.
Yeah, Kyle told me one time, maybe I told this story, I don't remember, about when he was teaching the midday class, if a purple belt came in, he's like, you have to treat them essentially like a black belt when a black belt comes in. Because that purple belt could be a 13-year guy, 14-year, right? And they just kind of gym hopped a little bit. Aurelius is like the easiest example because he was like a white belt for like 8 years, technically, but not, you know.
Right.
He was like subbing brown belts, you know, but he just didn't stick around under one coach.
Makes sense.
And then, you know, I forgot who it was that gave him his blue belt. Was like, okay, this is, you can't be this.
Wiseman, was it?
No, I don't think it was Wiseman. But they said you can't just be coming into gyms and like submitting like upper belts. Like that.
Right.
It's ridiculous. So here's your blue belt, and then he wins like blue belt worlds and you know, compete. And he's a good blue belt already. So then he gets promoted purple belt, and so then he came up and he rolled with Kyle once, and he's like, dude, and that's when Kyle treated it so he wasn't caught off guard.
Yes.
Like this guy, he could be exactly what Aurelius is, which is a long time training guy that just doesn't have the upper belt yet. You know, or it could be just a fresh purple belt, but they still have skills. They still
for sure.
Have advanced skills. So you got to kind of protect yourself. But that what do you say? The respect that comes with, you know, someone that's at least obtained that level is real.
Yes.
You know, and that's why it meant a lot for me. But what about you, Sugar?
What?
When you got your purple belt?
Oh man, he's so more well adjusted than I am. Jared is. I'm so neurotic. I was
you were just like looking in the mirror like I'm the
no, the opposite.
Oh, okay.
The opposite. I'm like, man, dude, I just don't feel like it. You know what I mean? I get super self-conscious and imposter syndrome. And
well, that's a real thing.
But then what I do is I use those as fuel and I work my butt off studying so I can feel like
so you're not the worst purple belt.
Not just for myself. I'm like, I want to feel like I'm living up to because I don't know, man. It's just, I'm going through it right now too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. And it's just like, I'm just constantly, you know, I have videos on all the time. I'm working on specific parts of my game that I feel like I have holes in and I don't care. This is a cool, and you tell me what you think about this, Jared, at your level. I don't even care right now if I'm getting smashed at all, as long as I'm trying to work through something.
Agreed. Agreed.
Unless I'm doing it with intention. I'm going into a role like that. Now, and not all my roles are like that. Some of them I definitely want to be competitive.
Yeah.
So I'll switch to a game that I'm, you know, kind of more my A game, especially with, you know, some of the black belts and stuff like that. But you know,
you're a better person than I hate getting smashed, and I get super competitive.
I don't like it, but
but you know, like when you were smushing me the last time in situation, you were trying to put extra sauce on my jaw.
I was.
Ooh, yeah, the shoulder of justice.
And he was trying.
Yeah.
And, well, no, he wasn't trying. He was doing. And it was so miserable. And I just started, and I summoned the Kraken. And I started just thrashing
somehow, he teleported a butterfly hook somehow into my belly button. And I have no idea how he got that stupid leg in there.
Yeah.
And then he was able to elevate me and get me off of him.
Oh, man.
So but I yelled as I did it.
Right.
I felt like I was in 300.
Right.
Movie, right?
Yeah, I get so competitive when I'm getting smushied like that.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, like we all have certain people that we train with. I know you too, right? Like I have a couple of guys that we really love rolling with each other. So when as we're growing, I mean, we just, you can't, even if you're trying to work on something, you just end up, let's roll light. Okay.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a thing.
But when you get something on the part, like when Bill and I roll, and like let's say he'll get a sweep or I'll get a sweep. We'll go, ha ha. Do you do that?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No. I don't think I'm there yet with, some of the people I roll with. I'm also pretty conscious about that. I'm weird about, like, I want to give them, if they, like, if I caught them in something and then we went and then they caught me in something good, like, I'm more along the lines of like, hey, dude, that was awesome. Like, yeah, you made that really hard and you caught me in that, and that was really cool to see.
We develop a little bit longer, and then you'll get to the point where it's like you get to gloat.
I can see that for sure,
in a good way. I still appreciate when he catches me in something super cool. But I'm at the same time when he's like, you know.
And I think that's it. I just haven't had quite the time yet. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think I could definitely see that the longer.
He doesn't like it though when I post it on Instagram and I cut out all the successful parts that he has, and it's just me arm barring him over and over. He doesn't like that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I want to check your ego.
Yeah. And it cuts to is like, well, now because of my repeated arm bars on Chris, he can no longer feed ducks for the next 3 or 4 months, right?
And then I'm going to teach that arm bar in the midday class.
Yes.
This is how I caught Chris.
Yes.
Here's video proof if you go look at Facebook.
No, that was the entire round.
Yeah.
That was it.
But Bill, you didn't get my overhead sweep I did on you.
There was
like,
what?
What are you talking about, Dad?
I think the cameraman must have been looking at mallards. It was weird. Yeah.
Hilarious. Excellent, man. Do you have any advice you want to give to other blue belts except for just keep going? I mean, that's great advice.
Yeah, don't get too discouraged. Don't, when you have those bad days where you're, like you guys have talked about that plateau where you're not quite going up, don't let that get you down. You know, there's ebbs and flows to this, and the highs are much greater than the lows, and you're going to have those lows. So you got to just fight through them.
Do you remember your first submission?
Mm-mm.
Do you remember the first time you caught Chris?
I haven't caught Chris yet. I almost caught him in a Stefan choke, and I almost had it. And then he showed me some tricks. I didn't quite have my legs set up. I didn't have the foot in the hip, and I didn't quite have the knee behind the head, so I couldn't quite get the leverage.
And I showed him afterwards.
Yeah, he did. No, that's one of my favorite chokes.
Was he like?
Not quite. It wasn't quite that deep. I mean, I had it tight, but he also kind of had his chin in, so it was kind of.
And I made sure not to do that standard upper belt move, like trying to coach them while they're submitting you. You know what I mean? Like, dude, he was close. Yeah. And so I wasn't.
He pointed it out afterwards for sure. And that change that ended up turning into one of my favorite jokes. So
that's a good one.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
How about this guy? You caught this?
I've never caught Bill in anything. No. Bill is a sneaky, tricky little bastard. He moves. You are heavy. You are like, it's like a boulder with arms and legs that is trying to choke you. Right? It's like a rock column.
I'm going to go home and go on a diet now. My self-image.
Yeah, Ray's going to go in the mirror and flex with his brown belt
Doc
on.
McBuffkins. Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yes. And Bill is like, he moves so much. He's been big on momentum. Keep the momentum, right? And so you're always like trying to catch up with Bill.
I'm like Mr. Deeds, the butler.
Sneaky.
Yes.
Sneaky. Very much so.
Underestimate my sneakiness. I had another good question there. There was, submitting Chris. How good does it feel? Well, we haven't rolled in a while.
No, we haven't. So no, it's been a minute.
He's ducking a lot of people. Have you noticed that? No, I mean, really.
Yeah. Josh said that. Tom said that.
Yeah.
I think someone else said that.
And I rolled with Tom yesterday.
Yeah. And you see why I'm ducking him.
Yeah. Well, it's horrific.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he also, because he put a bounty out and said, hey, if you can pass my guard, I'll give you this rash guard. Which I didn't even ask for. He just put it out there.
That's a bold move.
Well, I'm your Huckleberry. I'm ready to go. So, passed his guard 3 times. Gave me his rash guard. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I remember that. I was there.
Right? Yeah. So I'm not lying, right?
Nope. I was there for that. I was stretching while you guys were having some fun.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Tom's a white belt, so it's not like I'm freaking passing.
Yeah, but let's be honest. He's not a normal white belt.
No, his legs are like 30 feet long. And
he's 6'3", 6'4",
and he moves really well.
Yeah.
Oh,
so let's be clear on that.
So he gave me that rash guard, but he wants it back.
Yeah,
he does. He's been like, hey, come on, you want to do it? Let's go. I want that thing back. I'm like, how do you even get back? We haven't even set the rules yet. What does this mean? And then he was like, if I could do a handstand around the building, can I get it back?
You're like, bro, it's not feats of strength, man.
Exactly. I'm like, no. And then he says he had some other like fitness challenge. I'm like, bro, I barely show up. I don't even do warm-ups. What am I going to do? I'm not competing with you. It's like a pro athlete, basically.
Right.
He looks like freaking Drago from Rocky IV.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. That was like my exact thoughts the first time I saw him.
Yeah. He's a mix of Drago and Guile from Street Fighter.
Yes.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
Because he's got the American, Captain America thing going. How about that first stripe when you were a white belt? Did that give you tingles?
Yeah, it did.
Imposter syndrome? Or just the tingles? Like,
Definitely,
oh my gosh.
100%. I'm kind of on the lines of, like, I'm excited for my purple belt, but I get imposter syndrome bad. Like, I don't. It's always a surprise to me because I'm so hard on myself. I don't ever think I don't.
Same.
So when I got that first stripe, it was exciting. It was a new thing. Like, it's hard to put into words when you get because when Andrew gives you belt, stripe, whatever, you earned it. I'm big on earning things like respect or whatever it may be. Like, you truly earned it. You earned it through hard work.
Right. Yeah, that was something about that very first stripe. That little piece of nylon that just, and I understand some gyms don't do stripes. Good on you. I think it's fine. But even as adults, that little gold star just feels so good.
Yes.
And there's not really, I don't know if there's much like it, like that first one. Maybe I kind of had a good feeling. Did I get one or two stripes on the purple belt? My first one.
I don't know.
When I got a stripe on my purple belt, the first, whether it was one or two, it was like that had a similar feel.
Yes,
you feel like, okay, I'm an advanced belt. I'm legit. But then like there's that recognition of like, hey, you're doing really good at this level.
Yes,
that felt really good too.
Yeah. Especially the double stripe. So I got a double stripe on blue belt, and that was
that's where imposter syndrome really comes.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
yes.
Whoa, slow down, bro.
Yeah,
that's what he did on.
There's no way.
Too. Yeah, was like easy, man. This is going way too fast.
Yeah.
And then he rubbed it in for 22 days on me.
Well, it's only because it matters if you get it before someone else.
Oh, yeah.
It matters a lot.
100%.
He is not allowed to line up in front of me.
Even though we're both 3 stripes.
No, that doesn't matter. There's a date on that tape.
Yep.
And it's much earlier than his.
22 days, he told me.
How many minutes is that?
Didn't Chris get his brown belt before you, though? Okay.
Yeah, but that's not helping his argument, though. That's not helping me.
Why?
Oh.
It's just showing Bill's superior.
Because
Thanks for trying.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, like, he has seniority in that sense.
That's a good call. I lapped you.
Okay, I didn't mean it that way.
Thanks, Olivia.
That was snowball rolls.
Olivia, we are rolling, son.
Yeah.
We are rolling
Too tired.
On Monday.
I had a Snickers on the way here.
Oh, my God. Not today, on tomorrow. We're going to roll tomorrow.
And it'll be too hot.
Oh, my God.
I'll start ducking you, too. Actually, I'll wait till you roll with Tom and Jared
there you go.
And Mo and all these people. And hey, Chris, you want to go?
Yeah. I rolled with like 4 black belts in a row a couple weeks ago, and I was like, and you're like, yeah. No.
I mean, they're being easy on you, so it's all good.
Oh, then it wasn't fun.
I got a couple questions.
Good.
And I think Jared can actually touch on this.
I'll do my best.
Yeah. It's a gear question. We've gotten these a few times, actually, where people are just wondering, like, what's in the bag, What are you laughing at, you child?
Dude, I just don't know. I want to know what's in your bag, honestly.
I was thinking of what's in the box. But...
What's in the box? 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to put my bag on your head.
No.
Mouth guards. This is a biggie. We just had a guy in my midday class chip a tooth. and he has a mouth guard. He didn't wear it. He laughed at Danger, and Danger laughed at him. What do you think about him? Since you've kind of jumped into the old teeth wagon with a little bit
Is that
of
what you want to call it?
yeah.
It's like a freaking freight train, man.
Yeah, you got a radar inside your mouth.
Dude, I got all kinds of
You look
crap.
like Radio Shack. That's your new nickname.
Radio Shack. Nice.
Radio Shack.
You guys,
kind of nerdy.
you are a piece of shit.
This is amazing. Everyone call Chris Radio Shack, Dr. Radio Shack.
Dr. Radio Shack.
Especially since Radio Shack doesn't even exist anymore, barely.
They got like the best Twitter account possible.
Well, they're like, they're from the 80s, just like me. Anyway.
Yeah.
Even before, obviously now my recommendations, what I have to wear now is different from my general recommendations. I hate the ones, right now, I already have a speech impediment from my braces and all the crap I have in there.
Yeah.
Right. My brain. But I hate those mouth guards that you feel like you're choking on and you can't breathe well.
Isn't like they're just larger?
Yeah. So before I had braces, I was using the Sisu, SISU.
Yeah.
I think they're the best ones there. They're moldable and you can actually talk. And
I think they say they're 35% thinner than a normal like football one or something like that.
And they have one of those, I think they have some kind of guarantee for insured
dental guarantee.
For dental guarantee. I love those things.
And I think it's if you're using it for a sport that they recommend, because they have different sizes and different kinds, but they have one that is meant for wrestling.
Yep.
And that's one we use. Same.
Man, you shouldn't roll without them, in my opinion.
Yeah. If you get a couple close calls.
I mean, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It just isn't. I've been hit in the face, even when I'm getting, if someone's doing a rear naked choke, but, like the way you like to do it. Anywhere from eyebrows to chin is legit. Right?
Gian came up to me. He was like, I remember that. Because we talked about it on the last episode. And he's like, I do.
Yeah. Having that hard piece of plastic in there is super helpful. I have to wear a larger one now to cover all the hardware. But as soon as these things come off, I'm going back to the Sisu ones.
What about you? Do you wear a mouth guard?
I'm probably the worst person to ask about mouth guard. So I did.
Okay.
And
like a traditional one?
Yep.
Okay.
I started with the big one, and it was kind of bulky and uncomfortable. And I was wearing it for a while, and then I just kind of, no. And I should know better because I lost a tooth from a baseball bat. So, and I've taken shots to the face multiple times. And, I know better. I don't know why I haven't done one. I just kind of, I'm just going to leave that in my bag. But I'm with Chris. I mean, you should. I mean, I've taken enough shots to the face now to where, I'm retarded for not
The
wearing
Sisu one is, I think, game changer because you can talk pretty easily in it. Yeah. You can take drinks of water or whatever your fluids with it in, which is nice.
Yeah, and we're trying to get sponsored by them too.
No, come on.
I was laughing. Carrie gave me this look when we were talking about describing the mouth guard. It sounded like we were talking about condoms. So
Perfect.
And that's what you were thinking, wasn't it?
Oh, just a penis in general.
Oh. That's usually what we think about when we're talking about your mouth.
Yeah. That's a real thing.
Yes. In and around your hardware.
Okay.
You saying there's something wrong with my gear?
Hey, man.
Bad Santa. Anybody?
Yeah. Exactly. So yes.
Okay.
We're all kind of pro mouth guard.
Yeah.
There.
It just takes one time. And sometimes I forget it, but Olivia, she's usually pretty good about just handing me mine. And
I think after getting kneed in the chin one too many times, I was I got to start wearing this.
Yeah.
And it's very telling when we start situationals. There's not a whole lot of us running over there to put our mouth guards in.
Mm-hmm.
You notice
That's
that?
True.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Usually there should be a crowd around the cubbies.
Yeah.
But there's not.
Yeah.
So anyway.
SISU, that's the one that we recommend. Gi sizes, brands. And do you guys got any favorites?
Origin
Maine?
I'm big fan of the Origin geese.
Why?
Well, I sweat like Chris here. So with the traditional ghee, it just gets soaked and soggy, and the Origin ghee's like, I mean, they get wet, but it's different. It kind of wicks it away.
Well, I really like you, man, but you don't sweat as much as I do. Let's just be honest. That's a bold statement.
You are a cocky bastard.
Now we're going to have a sweat off. We're going to have to have a sweat off. That's all there is to it.
It's like Zoolander. It's a sweat off.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, you could hang with me, dude. I know I've rolled with you. I like Origin as well. I like the fact that they're made in the United States. I like their whole business model. And I have several of them, as you know.
Yep.
A couple of the models, though, are very slippery.
That new,
that
newer
Rift
fabric.
one.
The Rift one,
And
for
so
sure.
I honestly, I like Origin. I like supporting them, and I definitely use some of their geese. I like War Tribe quite a bit. They have a lot of different sizes and stuff you can kind of get, and I like their fabric. They have good feel to them.
Yeah. What about sizing for Origin? Because what's your stats, bro? Give me a
Origin,
waist
I'm an
size.
A3.
Okay.
Yeah, and I like that they do the waist size, actual waist size on the. So I'm running like a 33 on the waist, and then the A3 for the length, and that length's been pretty good through wash and stuff. It hasn't shortened up. I got an A2 on one of my older geese, and then washed it, and I looked like
me.
Yeah, I was just no sleeve. I mean, it was nice. I couldn't really grab them, and I could put them up, and you were good to go. But yeah.
What about you? So
War Tribe.
But you're 5'9", 180, right in there.
Yeah. Well, I used to be 5'9". I think
5'6", whatever.
I think I'm a little shorter. I think I'm like 5'8.5" now.
Okay.
I think I've shrunk.
I see that. I mean, I tower over you.
Oh my God, dude.
And Bill's short.
What?
Dude, I swear, we used to be friends, man.
So what size gi do you?
A2.
Okay.
But what I found is some A2s, because I have Tyrannosaur arms, some of them are a little long in the sleeves.
Okay.
So I've tried a couple like A1 heavy, and that didn't work.
But that's
well.
the opposite. Like you would want to do A1 long.
No, because I can't fit them over my shoulders. Not an A1, man.
Are you kidding me?
Come on, bro.
And he flexed when he did it.
I mean, come on.
I can't fit it over my fucking shoulders, bro.
Don't make me pull a tricep out.
I have pure bicep lighting right now, so you might want to watch.
We
your
talked
mouth.
about the show
The mic
versus
is
go,
blocking.
didn't we,
Huh?
Bill?
The mic was blocking.
Well, let's be
Oh,
honest.
man.
Hey, Olivia, let's be honest. A piece of string could block it.
Oh, there. That look good?
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Bro,
No.
look at that. Hey, our professor said I have bigger triceps than you.
Bull pucky.
That's what he said.
The last time he shook my tricep with his hand, and he said, I think Bill's ahead.
Nope. Then he shook my hand, and then he was like, nope, I was wrong.
Well, he shook your hand. That's why. Anyways, so A1 heavy. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
H is
it
right.
didn't work.
I thought that just expands the chest.
It's supposed to be shorter in the sleeves, too.
Oh,
That was why I was hoping,
got it.
and it didn't work out like
Okay.
I hoped it would.
So
A2 typically.
yeah, I like Tatami. That's one of my go-tos because I like really thin light geese. Now, not thin like what you guys are talking about, the Origin that is like that ripstop material. I'm not a huge fan of that.
Yeah.
Also not allowed at some tournaments, IBJJF and such. But I like really light geese, so I try to buy the lightest ones possible. Tatami has a pretty light one. Moya also has a light one. I'm 5'9", 175, 180, right in there. And I would say, what are you shaking?
I was like, is that with or without ice cream, dude? I don't believe that.
I gave
in
a 5-pound allowance.
Oh my God, dude.
Gosh.
175, please. What, when you were 5?
I will jump on that scale in front of your face butt naked.
Okay. Oh no. Okay, fair.
Actually, no, I'll have my belt on.
Okay.
Yes. Just to remind you.
All right, I yield.
So, in those brands, Tatami, works, or Tatami and Moya, which are my two favorite fitting gis, they A2 is typically best because they are a little long in the sleeves, but I can machine dry them. Tatami will shrink more, I noticed, so I can only get a couple machine dries, and then the sleeves start getting a little short. But Moya actually ends up A2, and then I can machine dry as much as I want. And so my Moya gis are the ones that if like I'm in a pinch, like I can always like wash that night and then use the dryer that night, you know, if I need something to cycle quickly, which is nice. When I was a little more rotund in the stomach area, the A2 for Moya, I couldn't wash because it would be a little
tight in the midsection there.
Yeah, I was holding on for dear life. Let's just say that. Just
screaming for help.
Bill had an A4 belt.
Oh, jeez.
Backed myself into an A2. So yeah, those, and then show you roll, which are fine if you like spending that kind of money on gis. I mean, I'd probably go Origin rather than show you roll if I'm going to spend $300. But show you rolls, the A2 actually the sleeves do get a little short if you're kind of an average 5'9" height. A1 longs are pretty good. That's going to be a little tighter in like the torso kind of section, but you're going to maintain your sleeve length and also your pant length. So someone like you might.
That's a big issue I run into is sleeve and pant length, just because my arms are not proportionate to my torso.
Yeah, and you got long legs.
Right. So that's where like I even had an A2 long, and that thing ended up just getting way too short, and that's why I had to jump. Yes, it's bigger around the waist, but the length on the arms and the pants stayed good and consistent.
Right. Yeah. It's really, you're going to go through trialing.
Yep.
Certain brands are going to just fit good for you. What's other brands that we've had?
That's a good question. 93.
Oh, yeah. 93 brand A2. They run a little bit bigger than the other ones. But once again, if you're going to train a lot and you need a machine dry, it's a good brand to go with. But they are going to be just not like judo baggy, judo gis. They're much baggier, but they're good and they're cheap. They're in the qualities. I would say they stand up to a lot of the training I did. There is a new gi company that has come about called All Knowledge Jiu-Jitsu.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. The guy we talked about, Aurelius. You got it?
Yep.
How about this camera?
Got it.
This is like the first shirt he's ever made, so this is probably 10 years old. But he's just coming out with gis.
Awesome.
And they fit tremendously. He's not a sponsor or anything like that, but he is my boy, so mind your P's and Q's. They fit great.
You know what my problem is?
Yeah, he's a little salty because Aurelius gave me a couple trial gis to figure out if they're good, and you got a little sassy. You got to be in your body.
All I'm saying, if you're trying to go for the elderly community, I'm a perfect test subject. I sweat a lot.
Yeah.
We'll see how well they hold up to that level of sweat.
Yeah.
I'm just making a good case. That's all I'm trying to make.
You know what? You know what? You're kind of rude, though. You're a little bit of a sassy pants, and no one likes it when someone goes and tries to spread monkeypox to everybody, and that's all you do.
What the hell? Hey, you're the one that plays donkey guard, dude.
Learned it from you.
I learned it from watching you.
How about we go a little deeper now that we're talking about monkeypox?
Yes.
Rash guards. You guys got any go-to brands for rash guards?
Yeah,
I'm not too particular. I run with some cheap ones off Amazon.
Yeah.
I like the ones that Professor has. I haven't tried an Origin one, so I'm not too sure. I've only had a few different kinds. I typically stick with the ones from the gym just to help support Professor and stuff like that. So I'm not too picky on the rash guards.
Yeah, I have a gym gi, which is like if I'm going to do a tournament, then I typically
represent.
Yeah, I'll wear that unless like I have patches that I haven't put on yet, but if I find a gi that's like I really like the fit, then I'll end up patching up. That's like a good solution.
Yeah.
If you have like a go-to gi that maybe you're like weight class wise, you're really close, and you know your team gi it's a little thicker like ours are. That you're going to be brimming and you need to save that extra pound. Have your go-to gi, patch that bad boy up.
Short sleeve or long sleeve?
Ooh, good call. I've been a fan of the long sleeves as lately.
Why?
Yeah. It's suffering.
Okay.
You get way hotter, right, in the long sleeve, and I don't know. I'm weird, and I like to suffer because you grow through suffering, and so trying to the typical saying, learn to be comfortable when you're uncomfortable.
Right.
Right. So.
Yeah, we don't cover these guns up.
Yeah.
No, we're open carrying.
I have stick figure arms, so I don't I don't have to worry about the guns.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. I still wear short sleeve. Bill has cut off some sleeves on his. I've seen him sport the
I'm not scared.
singlet type of thing.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Too far.
But was that too far? Sorry.
Yeah, it was Fauci.
Damn. Dude, some things just.
So what about you? Brand of rash guard?
Yeah, I actually like the ones that Professor has. They fit real well. They last a long time. I also have the Hayabusa. They have a couple models there that fit nicely. Some of the newer ones, especially, they've come up with, I like quite a bit. I like the ones that have the kind of the band around the bottom.
Yeah, it's almost rubberized, like on the inside, so it doesn't creep up your back.
Yeah, I dig that.
That's
too.
an annoying. I haven't found one that
definitely
doesn't quite creep.
short sleeve for sure.
It almost makes them a little heavier at the end of the skirt area.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, kind of.
I typically, and maybe because I feel like I blow through rash guards kind of quickly, like they get a little stinky. So I go kind of with your Groupon stuff. 93 brand. They'll do two
Standard issue.
Yeah, standard issue. $35 for 2 rash guards.
Right.
That's kind of like a nice thing. I only do short sleeve personally. There's a couple brands. Tatami's one and Storm. Scramble is another. It's not super compression style. It's almost like an athletic t-shirt.
Yeah.
So it's, you're not feeling like a sausage.
Yeah,
right. Ripping on you.
You notice like Venom is like that, dude. I can't even wear those things.
Oh,
you get a large. It's like
yeah,
cutting the circulation off your brain.
Yeah, they're rough.
Yeah, I only have one that's like that because it's kind of hard to identify if the cut is like that. And so I have a tatami that is almost, it's not quite as bad as your t-shirt. It's probably actually like the shirt I'm wearing, but the white and black one. Yeah. But it has the athletic material. It's really nice. Storm has similar
dry shirts or something.
Yeah, dry fits.
Yeah.
Liv, what about you from a lady's perspective, or Carrie if she wants to yell across the room? Gi brands.
Tatami.
You like tatami?
Yeah.
Because they do have the female sizes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like a light gi.
Mm-hmm.
And rash guards, I like 93.
Yeah.
Well, the material isn't, because sometimes you'll get those ones that are like, they're just too tight. I don't know how to describe it, and not very breathable.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But the 93, I feel like they're a lot more breathable.
Mm-hmm.
They're fitted, but they don't feel tight. And I prefer short sleeve. I cannot stand a long sleeve.
Yeah. Same.
I don't wear rash guards, so I just wear a t-shirt because I don't have body image issues, and so I don't like fitted things. And being a thicker girl, I find it hard to find gis, so I wear whatever Chris buys.
There you go. And that's part of the trialing stuff is, man, you can go through so many different brands. So Carrie was saying that, it can be hard to find the exact fit for her body type. So finding and unfortunately they're expensive.
Yeah, 100%.
So you find yourself spending hundreds of dollars for something that you're like, I mean, I'm going to call you out since you called me out on my cake, bruh. But we probably have 7 gis for Olivia that she's never worn.
I do mainly wear just 2 keys.
Yeah, she just wears a blue and a black one, and that's it.
Right.
Both to Tommy.
Well, it's because it takes forever to wash them and get them to shrink down to where you need them to be.
It's not like you're hand washing them. There's a machine that does it.
Okay, no, but that's not the point. The thing is you have to wear them, and then if they're like long, they like stretch out, and people you're just
You don't have to wear it.
Yeah, you do.
So why don't you wear it?
There's something about you have to like sweat in it to get it to like shrink.
I would
why don't
agree
you
with
wear
that
it?
for sure.
Why don't you just
gotta
wear
put
it?
some work into it.
Because when you do, like the sleeve gets pulled way past your fingers, and now you're like a child.
You're a spider guard puppet.
Yes. Those are my favorite
and
that's
puppets. Exactly.
looking for that.
It's with the spider guard.
Okay.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Saturday. I was a spider guard puppet.
Yeah.
Carrie said she was a spider guard puppet. She wore the wrong top on Saturday. It was a longer one. It was almost up to her knuckles.
Yeah.
So
I feel
It definitely makes a difference for sure, especially spider guard. Yeah.
For
the,
sure.
The sleeve length. Yeah.
And it just to put it out there, like if you're going to do tournaments, there is regulations to the sleeve length, and they can't be too short, and actually they can't be too long also for the pants. And that I think a safe thing to do is if your arms are extended out 3 fingers, if it's more than 3 fingers from the base of your wrist, it's not legal.
what you do is you retract your shoulder.
I know.
That's what I had to do my first
The
tournament.
little key is you're here, and then you go.
Yep.
And you make the noise too.
I can tell.
How about no-gi gear other than rash guards? Is there anything that's like a go-to that you guys really like?
Yeah, I like spats without shorts.
Yeah. Or the short spats. You just cut them up just below the junk there and
Right.
rock it.
That's known as underwear. Tidy whities.
Yes.
Yeah, if you are one that wants to just be safe, go long sleeve rash guard, spats, shorts over because you're not a Nazi, and that's like you're protecting your skin as much as possible at
That's
that point. If you don't mind, I'd say don't do basketball shorts. They're gonna come off. Number one, your butthole's gonna be everywhere.
Yep.
They're gonna most likely have pockets, so you gotta have shorts without pockets. Swim trunks are like your most basic if you're not gonna do an actual grappling short.
No zippers.
Yeah, no zippers.
You like the show you roll shorts, right?
Yeah, if my personal preference, I like show you roll shorts, but they show them thighs. Ooh, real nice. Deep black.
I love the intimate look you just gave when you did that too. It was fantastic.
He made direct
Oh,
eye
yeah.
contact.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
100%.
emphasize the deep.
Yeah.
I was touching my belly button the whole time.
Yeah, from dodgeball.
Yep. Oh yeah. Getting there real nice like.
Yeah.
That was really disturbing.
Thank you.
I mean, you do have muscular legs, though. So
Thank you.
can pull it off.
Want me to put them on the table?
No.
Okay. So, yeah, the show-you rolls, they are pretty short. Board short style, those are going to be like kind of more so down to your knee, but they'll probably have a slit up the side, which really does help for like moving around and stuff like that.
Kind of like the Muay Thai style.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not as short.
But I'd recommend doing a grappling short for sure. But if you're like not sure where, they seem $40-$50 or something, a swim trunk with no pockets, a board short with no zipper and no side pockets, at least. The back pocket isn't as big of a deal. Those are going to be, I think, the most beneficial. And if you're like, once again, if you're not really into the sweat thing, then spats and long sleeve rash guard for show. And other than that, for no-gi, not a whole lot. Sometimes I started using when I first had that shoulder thing was that kinesiology tape.
Kinesio tape?
Yeah. That stuff seems to work pretty well.
Yep.
Is that stuff's real? It's not woo-woo?
No.
I thought that stuff was like
So
super fake.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
we could do a part of an episode on that, what it actually does.
Yeah.
It really enhances proprioception to the brain. It gives position sense.
Okay.
Right. They make all kinds of claims that kind of lifts fascia and all that. Really what it does is it gives position. It's like what a knee sleeve does. The ones that aren't really
Structure.
supportive.
Yeah.
No. It just, through the skin, when you move, it gives feedback to the brain about position sense.
That sounds woo-woo.
It's not. It's called proprioception. If you think the nervous system's woo-woo, then I guess suppose.
And the earth is flat.
Yeah, that's right. Look into it.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Yeah, we might have to do an episode on that because I did notice, though, when I was taping that shoulder, it helped in recovery.
Yeah.
It was legit.
I think it's overused. If you look at the Olympics, they have like it's
half their body.
It looks absurd.
Right.
But it is actually very, very helpful for kind of retraining motor patterns and, having the brain coordinate motor activity based on position sense.
And I used KT tape. That was just what was at Dick's Sporting Goods. So
yeah. We could talk about that at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's very useful in certain situations.
Having just normal tape, finger tape is good, even for no-gi, really. If you got fingers that are beat up, buddy taping them, and stuff like that.
Toes, for sure.
Yeah.
Toes, I've been getting beat up on the toes. The tape helps big time.
Especially as we've been doing a lot of foot sweep stuff. Your feet are getting destroyed.
Yep.
That means your foot sweeps suck and you're not doing them right.
Yep.
Just a heads up. Any other gear that you guys can kind of... when you buy a gi, you get a gi bag, but they're typically you're sausaging in the gi.
Yeah, I actually got
big.
I got a new jiu-jitsu bag recently.
Yeah. I think it's actually really convenient to have a legit jiu-jitsu bag that's got pockets and it's big enough that you can fit a gi and maybe your street clothes and
there's a wet compartment in mine too, because then if you have street clothes, you can throw that stuff in the wet compartment. It doesn't intermingle.
Mm-hmm.
So
is it the same one Jason has? Jason has one that's like that.
Yeah, I'll have to show you mine. I don't know.
Yeah. And then the last question about the sauna. We got a sauna question. From the last episode. We had a European gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
And he was asking if his countrymen do it right or wrong. Because we did talk a little bit about people kind of going over the top and then going from heat to cold and spending 15 minutes over here and 30 minutes over here. And that could actually be a detriment.
Right. Depends on what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
The alternating heat and cold, I think it's valuable.
Mm-hmm.
It's another type of stress on the body. But if you want the actual benefits of the cold, you really need to end on cold. So that's kind of the key point in if you're going to switch back and forth.
Okay.
Because if you switch heat, cold, heat, you basically lose that. Because the whole idea of the cold exposure is to let your body warm up on its own, to induce a shiver response for that kind of recovery type of thing.
Yeah.
People will tell you, they've been doing this for 30 years. They love it. Fine. But as far as something scientifically backed, you would want to end on the cold. But there is that contrast. There is some benefit to it.
But if you're doing, you're in the sauna, you get 10 minutes. That's not anything crazy.
Yeah.
You can jump into your cold bath, maybe throw 5 minutes, 50 degrees in there or something like that. Like that's actually probably, you're not getting to the detriment stage because you're not doing these super long sessions in each one.
Yeah, you're right. It's all about intensity. It's all about the state of your stress cup too.
Yeah.
The whole 9 yards.
We got another question. Who was that asked about, or the question, not saunas, but Kyle asked when we were walking out of the gun place. Steam room.
Do steam rooms count, and how would you need to be in there for an extended period of time if it's not as warm?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't got a sauna, but there's steam rooms.
There's not a lot of research on that. And so I think there may be a benefit, but again, it's just like the infrared sauna. It doesn't get quite as hot. I think there is a benefit to it, but
your period in there is going to be a little bit longer to get the same.
Well, we think right?
Yeah.
So it's all about intensity. If you're in a steam room, and you stay in there longer and get, the question is it enough intensity to get that heat shock protein and what is the extent of that and all the benefits that come from that higher temperature? I would probably guess that a longer duration, lower intensity is probably helpful, but you can think of it the same way as is a long run good for you, or is sprinting better? Well, they're both good for you, but they have different adaptations. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I would guess it's probably along those lines, but we haven't studied those. We've only kind of, all the research is really the kind of the high temperature things at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't really have an answer for him either. We just said it's probably going to get a similar effect, but you're just going to have to spend longer time in there because it's not going to get as hot.
Maybe. And maybe that cumulative effect will be but you could say, well, the same thing for exercise, right?
Yeah.
They're not those inputs are not equal. Mm-hmm. That intensity for like a sprinting has a very different physiologic effect on adaptation than does that long distance.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yep.
That's all the questions I had.
Cool. That's a good one. Do you have anything you want to end with there, Jared?
Just a big thank you to the entire Cascade family. I mean, without you guys, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So, and to you too, and Professor Andrew, you guys have been,
go ahead.
You guys have been a big part of my growth, and I thank you for that. It's an honor to get to train with you guys, and to train with everybody at the Cascade family. It's such a wonderful place, and I'll be there till it ain't there no more, or I'm dead. So
yeah. I think we all feel the same way about this, and this podcast itself wouldn't be going without Andrew's thing he built for us all. I know he hates being in the spotlight and all that, but I mean, I don't think we say it enough.
Agreed.
How much we appreciate that top down, because the academy is that way because of him.
Yeah, he's built something wonderful. Really, truly wonderful.
It draws great people.
Yes.
So, man, I'm just thank you so much for coming on here and sharing some of this stuff.
And thank you guys. Keep up the podcast.
Yeah.
I learned a ton from it. I love it.
That's good.
You guys are spreading health and wellness, and I think the people listening to this take it seriously and listen to what these guys are saying, because you can change, and you can change for the better.
Yep.
Yeah, and we'll have a GoFundMe up for Chris's hair plugs, so just check the description on that. Other than that, just blow us up there, Liv.
You and I love